Tone her down! Tone her down! Did you see that? Nailed her right in the...
Introducing Clemps' favourite character.
Show you who's boss in this gym.
Now, although we still have a few endings left to cover, the game decides to introduce someone who I personally felt was more compelling than the entirety of the current cast, with an exception being two. This is Accord, a mysterious girl who's recording particular branches of Drakengard for an unknown purpose. I feel it's poking fun at the branching timelines that Drakengard is popular for without being an outright mockery. I found all of this charming, which said a lot considering hardly any of the humour during the game so far made me laugh or at least smile. Bless you, child. Accord warns Zero that no matter what branch she goes down, it'll all end in disaster. Zero doesn't seem to care as she heads off into Branch B, where things are a little different from the first time. During this timeline, for some reason or another, we have Scent with us. Scent is having dreams about a woman called Two, who he claims to have never met before, and as we venture through the forest, we realise that a lot more has changed than we first thought. It seems that One is now hunting intoners, which led to Three having a premature death.
Is she dead? She's totally dead!
What the hell is going on here?
Indeed. A few steps further and we're met with none other than Shish Kebab 1 and 2, who's just having a giggle. Ding dong, my kids are dead, my sister's dead, my kids are dead! Dito goes in for the kill, but Scent stops him with the old sword in chest trick. Apparently, not even shifting timelines can change a disciple's loyalty to their intoner. Decadus bites the bullet whilst mortally wounding 2, Octa is slain by Scent, who is then mortally wounded by Zero. The couple inch closer towards each other and using their final breath, they summon an angel.
Give us your blessing, Rafael.
Cowabunga. During the fight with Rafael, we notice that poison is slowly filling the arena, which immediately hits Zero and Mikhail. Zero can ultimately survive thanks to the flower, Mikhail, however, cannot. Branch B ends with Mikhail passing away due to Rafael's poison, so Zero decides to do something that no one else in his timeline has ever done before. She makes a pact, utilising the last remains of her song's energy. When Mikhail wakes, he finds himself sporting an unusual flower in his eye and the voice of a small girl in his head.
What you doing, dummy? You gonna sleep all day or what?
He responds to this girl as he usually would with Zero, as Accord puts the finishing stamp on this particular branch. Branch C starts with Mikhail devolving for some reason, which forces Accord to take a special interest in this particular timeline for the unusual goings-on. Zero finds Two hanging around and kindly asks her to take the curse off Mikhail.
Get that fucking curse off my dragon!
Let's have a look at this scene for a moment. Okay, so we see here Zero's beginning to run, and sure enough, there's this big long space, but wasn't she running? She would have reached her by this point. What is she doing? Is she picking up a penny? And then right when the gameplay starts, she's even further than she was in a cutscene. What's going on, guys? After they both engage in a 1v1 fight, she giddily wanders over to Scent, but the other disciples are plain old meanie heads, and I guess Scent is just...
Lady Two.
Can this poor girl catch a break?
Yes. I'm here now.
I guess not. Oh, fuck. Walking into One's new abode, where she hired Marilyn Manson's interior decorator, she spills some juicy details that Zero's flower is the big bad of the game, and despite the 5 intoners grouping together to save the world, they will inevitably bring its destruction, explaining why Zero is feverishly attempting to destroy them as they somehow have an unknown link to the flower. She also mentions that Zero will need a dragon's power in order to kill herself once the job is done, which takes Mikhail by surprise. One summons an angel named Abdiel, who follows the popular trope of find the weak point, then smashy smashy. After Abdiel's defeat, Gabrielle and Mikhail have a test to see whose Kamehameha is the strongest, but it turns out the answer is neither, as they both fucking die. This makes the two sisters pretty grumpy, and as you'd expect, Zero wins. If you can call this winning.
If you're not here, then who's gonna kill me?
Jesus, girl, how much did you eat? That's looking pretty creamy. Did you have too many cummy shakes? Maybe. Accord puts an end to this particular timeline by recommending sealing off this particular branch due to the fragile state of the world's future now that Zero has lost her mind. Got all of that out of the way, let's start talking about the branch that won me over completely. Now before I dive into the meat of this branch, I thought I'd take the time to explain exactly how the Intoners came to be. During this branch, Zero has a flashback where she explains what she is. She's a corpse being kept alive by the parasitic flower that has bloomed in her eye. When she awoke past the point of death and realised this flower would eventually cause global destruction, she tried to destroy herself. The flower reacted negatively to this and split Zero's power into 5 little girls, each of which are just as dead as Zero and are all infused with the flower's power, meaning there are 5 possible chances of the apocalypse. If you're interested, there's a Drakengard spin-off manga called Utahime 5 which focuses on the girl's antics after splitting from Zero. It's actually not that bad, so go check it out if you want to read something new. It would seem that a dragon is the only creature that can rid the world of the flower's influence, which is where Mikhail/Michael comes in. His job is to kill Zero once Zero has destroyed her sisters. And back to the main story, which starts with Zero going to murder 4. However, it would appear that the flower's power is making her go a bit loopy.
We don't have to be scared of this world. Because once I destroy it, there won't be a world to be scared of anymore.
Has anyone ever told you that you have lovely eyes? Oh, I could fucking swim in them. She summons a fucking demon dragon which has no explanation other than, damn girl, you crazy.
Zero!
She's right there. She's there. Stop me. Stop fucking yelling! Next up, we're chasing 3, but the forest is teeming with more undead than usual. When the crew reach a new location within the forest, they meet back up with 5, and I mean, there's clearly interesting shit everywhere because she can't seem to keep her eyes in one place.
You dumbass. You resurrected yourself? Arise. Galgalia.
Ditto gets a big stinking boner at 5's rotting body because he's a fucking freak and summons Funuel. Sent decides to defend the crew by summoning Egregori and the two of them duke it out whilst we defeat the easiest boss battle of all time, but I don't know, 5 looks pretty cool so I can give it a pass.
Beautiful Zero. See you in hell.
She was reborn with a special gift. Zero, you were reborn with a special power. Now grow to be edgy and despise your sisters forever.
Psh, nothing personnel, sis.
Drakengard the Third.
After 5 dies, Ditto and Cent learn that a disciple can't summon an angel without an Intoner's song, the hard way.
Zero, wait! No. Incredible!
There's no point in living in a world without Lady 2 anyway. Now I can rest.
Do. My name is Mikhail. I really love me some Zero. I'm not a stinky dragon, nor am I a dirty dragon. Hop on my back and let's go for a ride.
3!
Suicidal have to wait!
3 has somehow managed to snag herself an ancient dragon, otherwise known as a worm, and unlike the other sisters, she was already mind-broken in the first place, so she remains more or less the same. In fact, I think it made her happier. Just look at that Colgate grin. Decadus is launched up to Mikhail by Octa, and he sticks to his personality trope right to the end as he sacrifices his human form as a masochistic reward.
My angel holds the power to slow down his movements by a considerable degree.
Oh, you mean like bondage. I get it.
Armoros, uphold!
I'm gonna miss fucking that bird.
Yeah. 1 to go.
Another Intona down, and instead of going after 2, we're going straight after 1. I'm guessing 2 is either flat out dead in this timeline or having a coffee break. I mean, she kinda deserves one. During the final confrontation with 1, Octa, the last remaining Intona, summons his angels to give Zero a decent advantage.
A pity we couldn't grind the whetstone one last time.
So I'm guessing as long as it has 2 legs, and please make it 2 legs, Zero, don't let me down here, it's pretty much fair game in the bone zone, right?
See? Even in times of crisis, my man's sword is as sharp as a witch's.
What a weird little game you are.
Engage accelerator.
Out of nowhere, Accord initiates rocket boot mode and requests a hack into the goddamn timeline using her old school mobile phone, so Zero has a chance to kill both 1 and Accord as she's giving herself up as a noble sacrifice. Let's just go with it.
Understood. Executing code.
So, as you can plainly see, Accord is an android, something which Nier Automata... Oh fuck it, we'll be focusing on almost exclusively. Accord is shut down by Zero, and then the final boss is within clear sight. Zero has absorbed all of the flower's power that her sisters had taken away from her, and now a transformation is imminent. And if you've been watching since my Drakengard 1 video, you might recognise some similarities.
You've grown strong, Mikhail.
Zero, you big dummy!
Now, this boss battle has split a majority of players straight down the middle. One side can't stand it and think redoing the Queen Beast battle is a straight out fuck you to the player, and the other half love the fact that Taro is being a bit cheeky by messing around with the player and making it completely unfair intentionally. I'm personally fine with having this type of boss battle again, however the song proved to be so difficult I couldn't beat it without this amazing guy who made it more like a rhythm game than an awkward parrying match. Each sister will sprout out of each petal and will change the difficulty, sometimes being complete bullshit. The boss also brings up other questions, such as is Zero the Queen Beast we fight in Drakengard 1, or is it an Intona from a separate branch? So far we have no solid answer, so a lot of it falls into pure speculation. After you've beaten the boss, and seriously pat yourself on the back if you have, Mikhail will fire the finishing blow, sealing the Intonas away in another dimension and essentially killing them all, including Zero. The game ends with, Accord?
Goodness
Here's another
gracious.
huge mess for us to deal with. That was.
I wonder how long
that
I can
was
balance
certainly a
something.
secret to everybody.
I hope to see you again someday.
Thanks.
But until then, I'd like to say thank you for playing.
You too. I did it! I finally did it! I hit the goal I set out to achieve! Hopefully during our free game journey you've learned a lot about the universe of Midgard, and tell me if you ended up playing the games thanks to my videos. To finalise my thoughts on Drakengard 3, it's difficult. The game has returned back to its dark roots, however I have a very hard time taking it seriously. Maybe my love for the first game's narrative restricts how much I can enjoy a game that tries to be edgy and for some reason, funny. The wasted potential within this particular game upsets me, but I can't get mad at the genuinely valid reason of we ran out of time and budget. However, I'm also talking about Taro's writing. If you didn't originally know, the 5 sisters have particular physical abnormalities that are similar to a pack partner losing a particular trait. Each sister has a trait that continues to grow, one being an exception who stopped growing. For 5, it's breasts, 4, her fingernails, 3, her hair, and 2, her strength. Considering how the base game all but ignores this, how cool would it have been if these issues tied in with the gameplay and boss fights? Maybe Zero approaching the sisters accelerates those particular attributes, causing someone like 5 to become incapacitated due to her breasts swelling to an inhuman size, or 2's strength becoming so overwhelming she can't touch something without it being destroyed. Instead, it feels kinda shoehorned in to hit another Drakengard trope, which isn't the worst thing ever, it just would have been better to see these issues being tackled within cutscenes. And speaking of the sisters, my biggest problem with the game as a whole is its DLC. Not because of its quality, but because it's DLC in the first place. Some of these segments have some of the best character moments in the game, but in order to play all of them, you need to pay for each sister individually or as a bundle. Why did we need to pay for these? They made me care for each sister a lot more than the base game managed to, which is important in a game where life being taken away from you is an all too common thing. During my first playthrough, I had no particular feelings towards 2 at all, but after her DLC segment she became one of my favourites, and I had to pay for that character development. Cosmetics? Sure. Parts which are important to the base story? No. Finally, recommending Drakengard free is a tough one. I mean, the game feels frustrating to play at points, and the frame rate dipping under 5 isn't exactly what I'd call a fun time. It definitely doesn't feel like a prequel to Drakengard 1, but thankfully the trophy for replicating Drakengard's tone goes to Nier, which I'll look into closer to Nier Automata's release date. And despite sounding negative, I still respect this game in many ways. This is a game that shouldn't exist in the first place, much like Nier Automata. I mean, hell, do you remember when Automata was announced at E3? I'm pretty sure even Taro was like, excuse me, what now? Someone in Square Enix clearly has a lot of respect for Taro and his weird method of game creation and storytelling, and I'm the same. No matter what type of game Taro pushes out, if it feels like a breath of fresh air compared to most games being pushed out nowadays, then I'll continue to buy them, analyse and review them. Buy this game if you're a fan of Taro's work. If you aren't, then you probably won't get much out of it minus frustration, annoyance and a general bad time. Holy crap, we're finally at the end of the Drakengard series. Now, as I mentioned before, I will be tackling Nier, but I kinda feel like I need to take a break from Taro games. I've been playing them like non-stop, and I'd like to do something a little bit different, but when Automata gets a release date, then I will make a Nier video, and that is a solemn promise from me to you. Don't forget to subscribe, and sharing the video actually does help the channel a lot, so if you want to do that, please do. See you all in the next video. Peace.